Why are you not married yet, Marcel? You've been traveling the whole world for decades now. You've dated a lot of different women in different countries. You're shooting all these videos, giving all this advice, especially also about dating Indonesian women. But you're not married yet. Is there something wrong? And also now you apparently are single again. So I have received these comments from time to time, and I think, in some way they are justified questions and statements, and therefore today I will and want to dedicate this video to shed some light on why I have not been married yet, let's say to an Indonesian woman, and why I'm even still single again right now. So, actually, if I wanted, I could have been married already for some years now. There were actually 2 Indonesian women I could have easily married. The first woman was also the girl I had a very long relationship with for several years, but at the time when I broke up with her in 2022, that is now 3 years ago, I basically was not ready to get married. I was not ready for it. That's the simple answer. I was 45 at the time, and some guys at 45 are already married for 20 years. Everybody is different, has a different story, different needs, different wants, right? But I was simply not ready at the time. I knew she wanted to settle and to get married. She wanted to start her own family. She wanted to become a mom. I knew all that, but I didn't want it at the time. That has also to do with my priorities. Up until that time, let's say 2022, I was still focused on my career, building my career, things like that. And on the other side, of course, during my decades-long travel, I dated also other girls in other countries, Filipinas, Indonesians, Thai girl, only one actually. Some of them wanted to settle already, and I was not ready to settle yet. So I wanted to travel, I wanted to work as a chef, and I'm an expat chef. I'm not just staying in Germany and working for 40 years, same job, same location. No, I'm traveling around on these expat contracts. They are for 1 year, for 2 years, and then you move. You have to move sometimes, because they don't give you a new contract. They don't extend the contract for various reasons. So I had to move, and the girl didn't want to move with me because she couldn't also, It's not just, for example, my contract in Malaysia finished, so I moved to Vietnam. So the Malaysian girl cannot just simply move to Vietnam. How? She also needs to find a job in Vietnam. So these kind of logistical issues also, and the girls didn't want to travel. But I was not ready. I didn't want to get married. Not 3 years ago, and also not recently, when my now ex-girlfriend actually broke up about 2 months ago. Same scenario. The girlfriend I was talking about, which I broke up 3 years ago, by the way, she is now married, as far as I know. Only like 9 months after I broke up with her, she got married to another white guy from South Africa, by the way. So, she knew what she wanted. She didn't waste any time. I dropped out. Next guy. This is how women operate, She was, at the time, she was 29 years old. Yeah, so the clock is ticking also for these women. And my now ex-girlfriend, she broke up with me 2 months ago. She was also 29. So, but I knew from her that her parents put a lot of pressure on her and her relatives. When do you get married? And where's your husband? Where's your partner? Blah, blah, blah. this whole scenario here in Indonesia, many women suffer from that. And my girlfriend also suffered from that, from the pressure extended by her relatives and family. Her parents actually found a husband for her already, an Indonesian guy, but she didn't want to marry this guy. My ex-girlfriend is into bules, white guys, white foreigners. But I didn't want to play that game, and also we knew each other for a year already, but we didn't spend, let's say, a year together. Yeah? And I have to apologize, there's an announcement being made now, but I shoot this video anyway, okay? So I was not living with this girl in person together for a year. And this is kind of my standard also, I will not buy the pig in the poke, so to speak. And I have to be honest, I didn't really know this girl. Yeah, we were in touch for a year, like a long distance relationship, more or less. From time to time I visited her, but I actually didn't know this girl. So I'm not getting married to someone who I didn't really know in and out. So, and just putting pressure on me and kind of blackmailing me is not gonna cut it. So bye-bye, that's it. And that's why I'm not married yet, also. This is one reason. I could have married this girl, The girl I broke up with 3 years ago, I could have married her. And I believe we would be still married today. But anyway, this is just speculation, and because we clicked very well. But I did not want it at the time. I gave you already one reason. Another reason I want to be honest here with you is that I still have this, the grass is greener on the other side mentality somehow. And I know that's a limitation, because how long do I want to wait? I'm 48 now. But I also have to ask myself the question, am I actually a relationship guy? Is it enough for a marriage? Or am I just single bachelor forever, Maybe I'm not a relationship guy. Maybe I'm not a marriage guy, Some guys are not just destined for marriage, This is the questions I'm asking myself also, yeah. But this grass is greener on the other side mentality stems actually from 20 years ago when I arrived in Southeast Asia for the first time. When I was dating a lot of different girls, and when you thought, or when I was thinking, oh, she is the prettiest girl now in the hood. No, 2 minutes later, a more prettier girl shows up. So this grass is greener on the other side, and it's very hot here. I have to pull out my famous white towel here. I haven't done talking head videos in a long time. Yeah, and this is a handicap also, One of my Indonesian friends the other day also commented and said, Marcel, don't be too picky. And she is actually right, because if I remain too picky, then I'm sitting here still with 58 and recording the same videos, right? So this is another reason. I just want to be honest. And yeah. And now I'm single again, Not married, not even in a relationship. So that's how it goes. So now I'm dating again, Some guys notice that already. The kind of videos I shoot, the topics I talk about, How dare you? You talk about these things. Are you single again? Yeah, I'm single again, officially. But I also want to. So this is my backstory here, basically my reasons. But I also want to give you some general facts about dating Indonesian girls. Again, and maybe highlight a few things, because I've done a lot of videos about dating in Indonesia, and I have been receiving a lot of great, constructive, positive feedback over the past 2 months. I met with some of you guys also in person here in Indonesia. So I thank you for your support. Thank you for your feedback. I know my content is highly appreciated and valued, besides of some trolls, but I cannot consider these people real audience, right? We all have these trolls, you know. And even if you don't have a YouTube channel or don't run a YouTube channel, you run into trolls your whole life anyway. And even though I talk a lot about that the girls here are open to date foreigners, Western foreigners, and I talked about this in my previous videos, I want to emphasize again that still Indonesia is not a candy store, yeah? Because that ties into the topic of today's video, why I'm not married again. Oh, you say Indonesia is so easy, it's so easy to pick up the girls and they're all into Westerners. That's why I want to talk about this here again today, because I don't want to give you the wrong impressions, and maybe you came to the wrong conclusions also based on my inability to communicate it clearly, okay? So I want to avoid that you jump into the wrong conclusions. Yes, in general, Indonesia is a great place for dating women because the girls are open-minded, they're interested to date foreigners in general, and especially for older guys like me, it's a dating paradise when I compare it to Germany or Western countries. This is all true, this is all valid, but I don't want you to make the mistake to think, because you watch my videos, to think that you just have to arrive here in Jakarta or in Bali or at some other city, and you arrive there at the airport, and as soon as you exit the airport, the girls are jumping at you and asking you to marry them. No, that's a foolish and childish fantasy, of course, you know. Indonesia is not a candy store. You still need the same skills and traits you needed in your home country, in the Western countries. Also in Indonesia, you need to be open-minded. Yeah? With that I mean we have this kind of clean slate mentality. Yeah? So that means you come here with low expectations actually. Yeah? You have to manage your expectations. I know what I'm talking about, you know. When you get into this mindset that you are the prize too much, then you get arrogant, and then you get this entitlement mentality, and then things are not happening into your favor, and then you get frustrated really easily. This is what I mean with having an open mind. With open mind, I mean come here with a indifferent attitude, yet still wanting to meet girls, but don't expect too much, you know. Come here with an indifferent mindset and don't expect too much. Have rather lower expectations, okay? So this is on your part. And then of course, but on the other side, you want and you need to take action. You need to take the initiative here in Indonesia. Yeah? But you also need persistence and patience. Yeah? Why aren't you married yet? Yeah, you know, it's not like I come here and the girls are lining up for me and I just have to do the fishbowl thing and pick one and then get married. This is an infantile, childish conception, you know. You need to be active here, you need to take the initiative, you need time, patience, persistence, and you need to take action. You need to approach the girls here, either online or on the street, whatever is your style. You need patience and time. Also in order to find good girls here in Indonesia. Yeah? It takes time and deliberate effort, because the spectrum of women here in Indonesia is also very wide. It's a 180 degrees spectrum. We have certainly the majority of the women are healthy, normal, psychologically healthy, normal, good women, good girls. But you also have a lot of disturbed women, neurotic girls, dysfunctional, insecure or even narcissistic women. You have single moms, you have women with an agenda, you have players, you have gold diggers, you have cheaters and liars and others. And you have to weed all these girls out, you have to sift sift through them. That takes time and patience. Just the other day, I was supposed to go on a date with a Jakarta woman here from Bekasi, and I actually know this woman already for many months now. We've been chatting online, and now she knew I was in Jakarta, and she said if we could meet. I said, of course, let's meet, let's date, for the first time. So I suggested a location, I suggested a time, and I felt she was really into me, the way also she always pursuing me and texting me. So I said, okay, I had a good feeling, let's meet, So I said, let's meet here at Grand Indonesia Mall at 4 p.m. at this and this place. And I was there like 30 minutes ahead of time already because I had to do something in the mall anyway. So I texted her, I'm already here. Around 3:30 I texted her. German guys are very punctual, right? Not only when it comes to dating women. So, and shortly after, like 5 minutes later, she texted me, oh, I'm sorry, Marcel, I'm stuck in traffic. I might be a little late. And that was a little bit fishy already, because it can happen in Indonesia because the traffic is really bad. But she knew already, at least for 24 hours, that we would meet at 4 p.m. So long story short, this girl never showed up to our date. No excuses given by her, no apologies given by her. Until now, a few days later, no text, no message, no nothing. You see, I don't know what the reason was. Maybe she is a disturbed woman, which I believe, Maybe she's just playing revenge games with foreigners, I don't know. She want to pay them back. Or maybe she's just insecure and didn't have the courage to meet. Yeah, but at least she could have told me that, like the other girl in Bali a few weeks ago, same scenario, We were in touch for months already. We even had video call, And then she didn't show up last minute. We set a date, appointment, location everywhere at the time, and last minute she pulled out, telling me she doesn't feel confident. Okay, can happen, but who knows? I don't care. Next one. But this girl here from just recently, you see, this shit can happen also with these women here, So we have a broad spectrum of healthy, good women, but also very disturbed and dysfunctional women here. Yeah. Then the next thing is certainly the social media influence, and the virtual validation these girls now experience for a few years already. This is very huge, this is big. This cannot be underestimated. Why it is maybe not so easy to just pick up girls here in Indonesia anymore like it was 10, 20 years ago. This virtual validation is a very big thing, All these likes and hearts, and these girls get online through Instagram and TikTok and other stuff, Women, but also people in general with an underdeveloped ego, or people who are not mature enough, their egos will be boosted enormously by these likes and thumbs ups and stuff like that. So more and more girls also get full of themselves and think, I am the prize, and so the girl is the prize, and I don't need to do anything anymore, This is also a problem in Indonesia. It's increasing, girls, more and more girls are full of themselves, and you don't want to deal with these kind of women, who actually, girls who are full of themselves are actually immature and underdeveloped, They can clearly see that they have a lot of personal development still to do, even though they are very pretty, but it's no fun to deal with these bitches. Yeah, it's no fun. Yeah. So we have to weed through all this shit also, Yeah? You have to deal with these arrogant women and entitled women who feel entitled and entitlement mentality, you have this increasingly here. Yeah. Then the dating sites you have also. I'm still using the dating sites, but this is also becomes more and more a headache now. I have to admit, you know, a lot of sketchy characters and fishy people on these dating sites. Dating sites are good for introverts, for shy guys, you know. You still can try. I still recommend the Indonesian dating sites, you know. I know many guys are using them, but of course, you know, social media, virtual validation, girls are full of themselves, and then they're also jumping around. This is one thing also, you know, this swipe mentality, you know, the unlimited supply of man or even female, you know. So girls don't stick to one guy anymore because they know the grass is apparently greener also on the other side. So they just swipe, chat a few sentences, then the next guy, you know. And then these girls are wondering why they're still single after so many months or even years. And I confront them with them. I confront these girls with these facts, and they get upset about it, you know. Oh, why I'm still single? Nobody likes me. Yeah. You jump around like a monkey. You jump from guy to guy, and maybe the guys are doing the same and wondering why they're still single. So this is just my observation, you know. And of course, you also need to know what you want in Indonesia, right? What do you want? If you want to get married here, for example, or a long-term relationship, you know. So what do you want? What are your intentions? What are your needs? And what are your views on women in general, or on Indonesian women? Do you want just sex here in Indonesia, or do you want a committed long-term relationship which even leads to marriage? What do you want? This also plays a role, how your dating life goes, you know. You can get all three. You can get sex, you can get relationship, you can get marriage in Indonesia. Yeah? Easily, actually. Oh, now you say it's easy. But before you said it's not so easy. Yeah, it depends. That's what I'm trying to explain here. Guys who just come here for sex, they go to some hookup places here in Jakarta and can get it, yeah, for very cheap money. No problem. This is Indonesia. This is Southeast Asia. But there is this transactional faction, you know, these guys, and I know a few of them who they fly in the girls, you know. They maybe live in Bali, and they're flying in the girls from Jakarta, left, right, and center, you know. So these are the guys who they told me also, you know, Marcel, I ain't have no time for BS. I want to cut straight to the chase. No commitment, just sex and some fun, great companionship maybe. That's all valid, you know. Or maybe you are somebody who is struggling and don't know how to approach women. You suffer from approaching anxiety, or you are too shy. And also, this is an option, right? It's a clean deal. Or maybe you have low patience also, you know, and you don't want to play this dating game and mating game, and it takes time and this and that, you know. Although I've talked about this in other videos, that actually things can happen really, really, really quickly with Indonesian girls. This is true, but again, on the other side also, it takes time to find a good woman here in Indonesia, and it takes time and patience. And even you found one, you think that she is a good one, you still want to spend probably a year living with her physically together, not talking online, long distance video chats. I'm not talking about that. Yeah, so it is a challenge still. Yeah? If you doubt me, check out the guys in the Philippines, you know, how they handle it. Many of them, you know, they marry a Filipina within the first weeks or months, and then they have a rude wake-up call, you know. So there will be no difference here in Indonesia. You should not marry a girl just because she's sweet and you like her and whatnot after like 3 months. This is what I did with my ex-girlfriend. I refused to jump into this adventure, you know. So I know how it is. I mean, these guys who do it just in a transactional way. It's legit, you know. Some of them seem to become a little cynic, you know, because they tell me, you know, the whole world, everything is transactional, which I don't agree with. Not everything is just transactional. So this is how they justify and rationalize their own behavior, because anything is anyway just transactional. Yeah, relationship, sex, going to a movie theater, or even sitting in a restaurant, everything is just a money transaction. This is a little bit too radical for me. This is not my cup of tea. I don't agree with this. In my opinion, these guys just rationalize their own behavior. They have to do it somehow. They have to come to terms with their own behavior. Yeah? So there is no cognitive dissonance. Yeah? But anyway, that's what they do. They can do it. But I also know I have low patience. I'm actually a low patience guy. This is one of my weaknesses, you know, and I know how hard it is if you don't want to invest the time and the patience. If you want to get a quick fix, at the end of the day, I'm also a man, right? I have my needs. And sex aside, we all need, me as a man and other men and you guys, we wanna have this feeling of being needed, right? Loved and appreciated. We wanna enjoy great companionship with a woman. We want this physical intimacy, touching, you know, this physicality. This is what men also need at the end of the day. This is what I also need, you know. Or you just can say, fuck it, I just pay her and then I get my service, you know. Yeah, you can do that also. In Indonesia, it's very, very quickly and easy to get, you know. But this is not sustainable, right? Buying a hooker or a high-class prostitute, what's the difference? You know, you buy affection, you buy attention, you buy care. It's just bought, it's transactional. But I believe we all as human beings need what I just mentioned here. You know, we need the real human care, love, interaction. Feeling to be needed and appreciated. And this is what I eventually also after at the end of the day, you know. So to conclude this video, dating in Indonesia is, yeah, it's also time consuming, so be aware of this. Yeah, don't think just you come here and the girls present themselves to you and proposing to you. Yeah, you need patience, time, persistence. You need common sense also. You need common sense in Indonesia also. Yeah? We need a great deal of good judgmental skills, discernment skills, the ability to discern. I will shoot another video soon about this because one guy commented the other day, if you need a dating coach, and you know, I was talking about dating coaches. This is very interesting stuff. I will talk about this in future videos. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos already. And another guy contacted me already regarding this topic. There are many Western dating coaches out there, and they do great stuff. But from my personal experience and applications, some of that stuff doesn't work here in Southeast Asia and also not in Indonesia. So we have to be really careful, and I will talk about this in one of my future videos. Why certain things don't work here. Actually, they will backfire. Yeah? And I just wanted to mention one other thing, but it escaped my mind right now. But this is something I will discuss in the future, okay? So, yeah, you need, yeah, because, and one guy also mentioned, yeah, Marcel, if you need a dating coach, something along these lines, if you need a dating coach in Indonesia or in Southeast Asia, then it's over for you. Depends. I mean, if you have your act together and you are you know how to run your game. Maybe it's easy, but there are many horror stories also out there, and many men don't have their game act together. They don't know how to approach. They are too shy. They don't know what to do. They mess up. They don't understand the dating dynamics here. So I strongly believe some of these guys, or maybe many of these guys, actually need a dating coach. There's a different culture, different dynamics here, and that's not even the most important things, the different dynamics and culture. The most important thing is your bloody inner game, If you don't fix that, you can go anywhere you want. You will fucking suck. You will mess up. You will not be successful with women, neither with Indonesian girls, nor with Filipinos, nor with Thai girls or American girls. You will be a simp, you will suck, you will be the loser. Yeah? So much for the topic of a dating coach, Best example is the Philippines, How many guys in the Philippines mess up, don't have a bloody fucking clue how Filipinas tick, this and that. Guys focus too much on the outer game, Knowledge about the dynamics and the culture is also, of course, very important. And you need to study Filipinas or Indonesian girls for that matter also. But more important is your inner game. Way more important, Again, I will talk about this in future videos because this is very, very important. So to conclude this video now, finally, but also now I'm 48 and my views have been changing, obviously also when it comes to marriage. And I can see myself, now this topic has entered my mind already for some time now, and I can see myself getting married. In other words, I'm open to that. I want to get married actually, but I need to find the right woman, right? But I can imagine that, Now I'm open to that. I'm ready for that, Not like 3 years ago. But the circumstances need to be right, and I need to know this woman in and out before I commit, right? And the good news is here in Indonesia you have a great and extensive pool of beautiful, gorgeous, loving, caring, sweet women, great marriage material. So with that being said, I'm checking out for today. I don't give up, There's a great pool of women here, and if you really want to get married, you will get married sooner or later. And I'm done here for today. Thanks for watching. If you want to become a channel member, then check out the description box. There's a link if you want to support my work. Also, if you want to book a consultation with me, then go ahead. The link is in the description. And before I forget, I also want to mention this. Please stop sending me emails, long novels, If you just want to say hi and thank me for my work, that's all good. If you have a simple question which requires a simple, straightforward answer, that's all good for me. But please refrain from writing me novels and trying to get free advice. I want to make it very clear. I will not entertain these cheap Charlies anymore. I received too many emails. In the beginning it was all good. I don't mind to share advice. I'm doing this here online through my videos. This content is for free. You don't need to pay. There's no obligation. If you want to support my work, you can become a member, but no more free advice here. Writing me novels takes me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to read these emails with a lot of content. That actually requires a consultation, and you can book a consultation with me. A 1 hour consultation is $30 US. So now you know. So stop sending me these emails in the hope of getting free advice. I will not do this anymore. The other guy who just emailed me a very long email, I replied to him out of politeness. But I also offered him a consultation because there are more things we needed to discuss, and he said, he's broke. He cannot do a consultation. What the fuck is this? Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. You're broke? He's a joker or what? I don't know. I don't want to deal with these people. I mean, what the fuck is this? Honestly. Excuse my language, but how broke can you be that you don't have $30 for a 101 call? I also consulted with other guys, you know. I pay that money also if I get high and good quality advice. But this is just what I wanted to mention here at the end of this video. Please stop bothering me with your novels, okay? Book a consultation, email me when you want to have a consultation, and then it's all good, okay? So now you know. Thank you for taking note. I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye-bye, and let me know in the comment section what you think, yeah? Okay, peace and out, bye-bye.